Yes, it is possible to make two splices on the secondary side of a transformer, but specific conditions must be met to comply with the National Electrical Code, or NEC. The NEC addresses transformer installations in Article 450.3 Bone, which allows for a single set of taps or terminals on the secondary side of a transformer for connecting a branch circuit. However, NEC Article 450.3b2 provides two exceptions to the single tap rule. The first exception is for transformers rated less than 50 kVA, where multiple sets of taps per terminals are permitted. The second exception is for transformers rated 50 kVA or larger, where additional sets of taps or terminals are permitted if they comply with the requirements of Article 450.5b. These requirements include, firstly, the taps being provided with a permanently affixed nameplate indicating the current carrying capacity, secondly, the taps being load breaking, and thirdly, the taps being installed in an accessible location. The tap rule aims to protect the transformer and connected equipment from overloads and short circuits. When applying the tap rule, you must consider several factors. Firstly, the overcurrent protection. The conductors connected to the taps must be protected by overcurrent devices, such as fuses or circuit breakers, sized appropriately for their ampacity. Secondly, the conductor ampacity. The ampacity of the tap conductors must be sufficient to carry the load they supply. Thirdly, the tap length. The length of the tap conductors is limited by the NEC to prevent voltage drop and ensure proper overcurrent protection. If the length of the tap conductors exceeds the limit specified in NEC, the tap rule cannot be applied. In this case, overcurrent protection must be provided at the point where the tap conductors originate from the secondary side of the transformer. Fourthly, the load characteristics. The type of load being supplied by the taps must be considered when applying the tap rule. For example, motor loads have different overcurrent protection requirements than lighting loads. Since you are making two splices on the secondary side of a transformer to feed separate loads, a chiller and site lighting, this would typically require two sets of taps or terminals. The permissibility depends on the transformer's kVA rating. To ensure compliance with the NEC, it is highly recommended that you consult with a qualified electrician. They can assess the specific transformer rating, load requirements, and local electrical codes to determine if your proposed configuration is permissible. A qualified electrician will consider the following aspects. Firstly, the transformer kVA rating. This is crucial to determine which exception to the tap rule may apply. Secondly, the secondary voltage. The voltage on the secondary side of the transformer must match the voltage requirements of the connected loads. Thirdly, the load calculations. The electrician will perform load calculations to determine the total current draw of the chiller and site lighting. Fourthly, the overcurrent protection. The electrician will select and install appropriate overcurrent protection devices to protect the transformer and connected conductors. Fifthly, the conductor sizing. The electrician will determine the correct conductor size based on the ampacity requirements and the applicable NEC tables, such as NEC Table 310.15b16. Sixthly, the accessibility. The electrician will ensure that the taps and overcurrent protection devices are installed in an accessible location for maintenance and inspection. Seventhly, the local codes and regulations. The electrician will be familiar with any local amendments or regulations that may affect the installation. In addition to the tap rule, other NEC articles may be relevant to your installation. For example, Article 250 covers grounding and bonding requirements, while Article 300 covers general wiring methods. Proper grounding and bonding are essential for ensuring electrical safety and preventing shock hazards. The NEC also provides guidelines for the installation of transformers in specific locations, such as indoors or outdoors. These guidelines address issues such as ventilation clearance and protection from physical damage. Understanding the NEC requirements for transformer installations is crucial for ensuring electrical safety and compliance with the law. Improperly installed transformers can pose a significant fire and shock hazard. Always consult with a qualified electrician before making any electrical modifications or installations. They have the knowledge and experience to ensure that the work is done safely and correctly. In summary, while it is possible to make two splices on the secondary side of a transformer, careful consideration must be given to the transformer rating, load requirements, and applicable NEC articles. Consulting with a qualified electrician is essential to ensure compliance and safety. Remember to always prioritize safety when working with electricity, and never attempt any electrical work that you are not qualified to perform.